When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, Big Beat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
Good morning, Quasar Markets Live. Good morning, Big B. What do you got for us today?
Good morning, Howard. I understand you're in Chicago. Is it cold up there?
It is cold and snowy for sure.
Ooh, yeah, nice. All right, bro. So talk to us about today. What's going on?
Markets are down. We're down about 90 basis points on the NASDAQ. SPY set to open up down about 62 basis points. Advanced decline down about 1,900. And the Fed says maybe they'll raise rates or something. What's going on? Japan's raising rates. The yen trade's over. Carry trade's over. Christmas is over. What's going on today, Steve?
Christmas is over? Yeah.
Man, that's all I see on CNBC is that first losing month since March, and, you know, doom and gloom today, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, look, when Kramer's saying December playbook for stocks is down, I think you gotta go positive. Look, I made it very clear that this is going to be a good month. I think there was some changes over the last few days. I think there was some bookkeeping that needed to be done for a lot of companies that needed to take some profit, and I think they did that. Look, this sell-off yesterday, even in the Bitcoin, didn't bother me one bit at all. I bought last night.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw you said that. What is going up? Gold at 42.45 here today, up another 65 basis points. And take that victory lap there, Big Beat, 57.33 I see right now.
Yeah, I made it very clear that I liked silver. 57.34. I mean, that's another all-time high on. And I can share my screen, Howard. We can look at that real quick. There we go. You can see here this nice run all throughout the year. But, I'm getting a little bit nervous up here. I mean, here's what I saw yesterday. I saw so many freaking commercials about silver. So many traders going, hey, look at the silver market. No, you didn't. You weren't there when we talked about the silver market at 19. I didn't see any of you guys. You were all talking about how bad silver is and how dumb silver is. Good morning, Doc Spector. How are you? Look, it's very simple. When they're coming in, when the traders that aren't very good are starting to come in, that's when I got to step out, right? I mean, I gotta go. Wow, you know what? This is getting out of control. When your taxi driver turned stock picker is now telling me about silver, I got to get out. Here's the interesting thing. I found a lot of people that are using my thesis behind everything. So it's like, okay, I'm glad, but you're a little late to the game now. So I'm going to start stepping out of the game here of silver. There's still another run here, I think, but I'm gonna lighten up my load a little bit.
Makes sense, like you said. Take profits when you can, for sure. Never a bad idea. Steve, the Mag 7 not looking too strong today. Nvidia down about 1.13%. Tesla down 1.28. Meta down another 1.39 here. What's going on with the AI trade?
Yeah, look, let's talk about that for a second. Nvidia, as you know, everybody knows, I bought Nvidia. I'm long Nvidia. I like this run here on Nvidia. See this bottom here? I like this. This is a daily chart. Look, it's not going to be a clear straight line up, but we know where it's going, somewhere between 190 and 200. This is where I believe probably by the end of the year. That's what I'm shooting for. You can see my lines in here. That's where I'm going. The turn hasn't happened just yet on the daily, but on the 3 hour, why 3 hour? That's what Wall Street uses. Still a little bit slippage here. I'm not too concerned as it's a little slippage here, but this morning it was down $3.50. Now it's only down a couple of bucks. So I think we're okay. My other pick this morning, or as everybody here knows, that I've been buying is Disney, and there it is, right? This was the turn I thought was going to happen. It's starting to happen now. The parks are getting full. Look, I thought that we'd push a little higher up on Disney earlier this week, or last week, I should say, and we didn't get that turn quite as heavy as I thought we would because there's a big bar here. But once we break about 107, somewhere around 106, around here, 105 to 107, we should push right on up. So you can see it now hitting our MACD. It's now our RSI. So, I'm good here. And of course, Howard, as I've been talking about it for a while now, I will be releasing a new stock pick today. Not here on the show, but I'll be releasing it very shortly today at some point. So I will be releasing a new stock pick that I'll be going along that I am buying, and I'm accumulating, I should say.
I love it. Synopsis is, Nvidia doesn't seem to be moving in the right direction yet. News of partnerships with Nvidia still moving some companies up, Steve. If you take a look at SNPS, Synopsis.
Yeah. Oh, Synopsis, yeah.
Gainer this morning up 7.26% on the news of partnership with Nvidia, taking a $2 billion stake in them.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's gonna continue, right? That there's so much cash on the sidelines for Nvidia alone. They have lots of cash, and as they make that cash, they're gonna make some investments here. We know that, and Synopsis has some room to run here, actually all the way to probably up to 600. But I'm not showing that yet. Look, I think they've got good revenue. Their revenue was below guidance, but they now have got a runway now, and Nvidia a good partnership. So I like this move. Synopsis is a good company. What they do, it helps them out too as well. So I'm okay with it, right? This morning you're starting to see all these companies that are just hurting the Mag 7, as you said, right? Well, these Mag 7 numbers are money is going to start moving somewhere, and I think one of those places you're going to see is exactly here, right? So I do like this.
Another one getting hit pretty hard today, Steve. On the other side of that is Shopify, down 4.19% here. Yeah. Is that an indication of what the consumer sentiment on retail is right now, Steve?
No, but I do believe Shopify. I've said this before, and I didn't like Shopify over the last year. I still don't like it. It's had a nice run to the downside, as I pretty much thought was going to happen. I will say this much: online shopping was huge this year. The number up by 9%. I think a lot of that had to do with a couple of things, and I've been talking about this for over a month. I posted this, I don't know how many times, that the weather up north is going to be bad this winter. I posted it. Why was I posting about a bad winter? Well, because guess what? That affects the economy. That affects natural gas. That affects whether or not people get in their car and go shopping. No, they're going to do it to make somebody else drive, like FedEx and UPS. So they did. And I'm going to tell you, I was at Best Buy over the weekend. I bought a few things, but not much. But things that we needed to refresh, like a vacuum cleaner. We refreshed a few little things, but nothing crazy, and took advantage of that. And we didn't. I did not the one that did it. I didn't put it in my car. I had it shipped to the house. Right. Little things like jeans that are on sale. I mean,
Yeah.
Levi's for $22. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. Steve, it looks like Boeing, the beneficiary for once of somebody else's issues here. We see Airbus's stock plunging today after solar flares took its planes out of commission. Worst intraday loss they've had so far, down about 10% in overseas trading on Monday. Despite Airbus's woes, shares of rival Boeing, as I said, up about 1.1% here on that news. Are you a buyer of Boeing here?
I bought, as everybody knows, I bought Boeing last week. I think we talked about it on the show here. I bought Boeing, but not because of solar flares. I bought Boeing because it was cheap. I'm going to pull up a daily chart of Boeing here. You can probably see it. This is kind of what I was seeing on this pop here. Look at that. That MACD told me way out of bounds with Boeing, and I liked it last week. So I did buy. I'm accumulating Boeing. I'm not the big buyer yet, but I am accumulating. I'm not getting the big buy signal yet that I normally get. But I do like it. Airbus already fixed their issue, their tech issue, but it's too late. Boeing, if you talk about too big to fail, I mean, Boeing is that company. So here it is. I like Boeing. Everybody knows I like Boeing, but I like Boeing on trading, and I like Boeing to own long term. But the problem is whenever somebody runs it all the way up, they run it all the way down. Why? Because it's owned by so many people, so many companies, so many ETFs. And that's why they always take profit on Boeing. So, yeah.
Steve, airline stocks are down today. Thanksgiving didn't go to plan. Delays and cancellations seem to have been a problem, marred by wintry weather disruptions, as you said, at airports across the country. American Airlines down, Southwest down, UAL down, JetBlue and Delta. As this had buy the dip opportunity on those on this type of pullback?
No. Obviously, airline stocks are still airline stocks, but they have some tailwind for them, which is the oil. Right, jet fuel is cheap, so that helps them. But this weather, I'm telling you, I make it very, very clear to a lot of people that weather really affects things, right? And so when you have weather, especially all over the country and all over the Northeast now. It hit Chicago not too long ago, and now it's hitting the Northeast. Honestly, to be honest with you, I don't see it. This weather is really bad, and it's going to get worse. And I've called it out, so here we are. And so no, I don't think so. I think airlines are going to get hit again.
Steve, you mentioned oil there. OPEC did come out and say they are not going to raise their production rates. Did have oil up slightly, so we do see WTI trying to get back above 59. Was this enough to get it across 60 or not?
Yes. Well, for sure. Yes. But oil still has headwinds. If Russia does send out the oil, kaboom, kaboom, it's going to hold it down. Look, I think oil is going to $30 to $40 a barrel here in the next year or so because there's just a glut of it, right? So, oil continues to slide. That will be good for them, but I don't know yet.
Okay, and then Steve, the Treasury's 10-year is up 1.49%. You worried at all that they're not going to cut here in 10 days?
No, they're going to got for sure. There's no doubt about it. They're going to cut. And if they don't cut, then they're going to have some explaining to do because, quite frankly, they got some explaining to do. That's just at this point, it's kind of ridiculous.
If you look at the sectors of the S&P so far, the only one slated to open up in the green so far is energy. The others are all in the red. Technology being the main laggard there. And in overseas trading, we do say that the Nikkei was down about 2% overnight as the Bank of Japan, and we'll have Mr. Flanagan in later, announced that maybe they are going to raise rates, huh?
Japan. I think that's what you're seeing already, right? So I'm a little concerned about Japan raising rates. Do they need to raise rates? No. They need to stick to the game plan. And here's what's interesting with them. They might just do the plan because the prime minister there, she is a conservative, and she likes the Trump playbook here. So no, I don't think so. I think she sticks to the game. And you can see here that dollar yen here is starting to slip here. So the yen is powering higher here a little bit. So I liked it better at 158, 155 now. Less sushi and sake, but still quite a bit.
There you go. Steve, MicroStrategy is still not scared of the dip. Michael Saylor bought another 130 Bitcoin, I believe it is, this weekend. So they just continue going. Did see, though, that their CEO of his company said if their net value did drop below 1, they could maybe be a seller. That was the big news that had Bitcoin dropping over the weekend.
Yeah, unfortunately, look, I really do believe that. I like Michael Saylor, and I think what he's doing is awesome, and he's really doing his thing. But I also feel like in a lot of ways that there are some people that are going after him, right? That are hitting him pretty hard. So, yeah, he made a comment over the weekend that bothered me, and I think it's really affecting the markets here, saying that, yeah, we could sell some Bitcoin if things start to hit us a little hard, right? That changes the tune of we're never selling, right?
Yeah, it wasn't him that said it. It was the CEO.
The CEO, right? Now I'm just seeing some news. I don't know if this is coming in live here or not. That MSTR, as we talk about this, that MicroStrategy announced establishment of a $1.44 billion USD reserve and updating. Oh, so they're going to add dollars here to their accounts. Is that right?
Could be. I don't know. I didn't see that. I haven't seen it. I'm working off one little screen here today, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. You tell everybody you're in Chicago for a process.
I don't have my normal set. I'm trying to catch up here. I'm like, the internet at the hotel is not fantastic.
What I mean, Howard. That's what I mean, Howard. For people who are trading out there, if you just got one little laptop or your mobile phone, you're what I call the mobile phone trader, an MPT, you're not going to be ahead of the game. Right? You're not going to win. You've got to have big screens. You've got to be sit down. And Howard has those screens. And when you don't have them in front of you, you're lost. I went to the eye doctor last week and had to get new glasses. And guess what?
Lost. Yeah.
All of a sudden, wow, my screens are back. Right? Yeah, look, you've got to have that. Right? You've got to have that ability. So, yeah. And we talked about it in video here.
And yeah, as you're saying, I guess I'm now seeing it. They established a 1.44 billion USD reserve to be able to cover at least 12 months of dividends and their preferred stock.
Yeah, and that's smart for them. You know what?
They've covered at least the next year. Yeah.
If someone out there is screaming, "Oh, look, MSTR can't keep up with us because if the Bitcoin gets to a certain price, then we're going to screw them." Well, great. Guess what? You just gave them the answer. So if you're short,
he just said, "Now I just bought 12 months. We're going to buy 24," and it was fun to be the CEO already.
Right, good for him, man. You know, and look, if you're going against Michael Saylor, good luck. You don't have his money and you don't have his chutzpah. So good luck with that, right? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. We are 10 minutes from the open here. We do see that Jensen Huang is about to go live on CNBC, so that should maybe get MicroStrategy and NVIDIA moving to the upside here. We'll see how that moves today as we get open here. Steve, what are you expecting to see from the cash open today?
Up. I expect buyers to step in. This is nuts. The selling is nuts. I think we buy the dip today for sure.
Okay, you heard it here. I love it. That's what we want to see. So far, again, advanced declines now down a little more than 2,000. So we're seeing a little bit more breath in the drop here. But with that being said, the Qs have actually moved back to the upside slightly. Same things with the SPY. So seeing a little bit of buyers step in before the cash markets even start here, as Steve mentioned. Seems to be a mixed bag. You know, there are some winners and losers. Steve, you watching for anybody in particular for earnings this week or anything?
Not really. Look, you want to talk about who I'm looking at and watching today? It's one person. It's one person only, and one thing I'm looking at, and it's Powell. What is Powell going to say? What is Powell thinking? What's he doing?
Shouldn't
we are.
they be in the blackout at this point? 10 days away, I think.
That's correct.
14,
that's correct. Yeah, 14,
yeah,
and that's all I really at this. We're hearing reports now that the USTR, it's U.S. trade rep here, and I'll put this up here for everybody to see as well, as announcing an agreement in principle on pharmaceutical pricing between the U.S. and the United Kingdom. That's good for a lot of companies. That's very, very good. Let's go with that. Eli Lilly could be one of them. Lilly should be pushing up a little bit here. Yeah, that's seeing a little bit. That's weight loss drugs, obviously. We can look at Sanofi. Should be it's India, obviously the British specific there. We won't be able to know. I don't have access to those accounts, but and then let's look at if we look at UK, it would also be AstraZeneca, right? AZN. So there you go. AstraZeneca now green on the day. So there's a lot of cool things here. Yeah, there it is. AstraZeneca being the biggest, I think, UK pharmaceutical company there. Yep, there's the news coming in now. Starting to see it starting to push in now. Look at that.
You're seeing DoorDash taking a nice move to the upside here this morning on news of some insider buying there. So up about 4% here this morning. That's DoorDash.
Yeah, I can see that. I like it. But I'm sorry. It's to me, and it's Uber Eats. It's Uber.
To me, those are the ones that I think would be under pressure in a bad economy. Both of them, quite honestly.
I think that Uber's had a tough one here because of the weather in the cities, right? I think it's a problem. But I'll tell you what is interesting to me. If Uber puts their arms around it, and they're doing that, robo-taxis. You don't no longer paying people.
They don't need their drivers. Yeah, buy the car, buy it once.
Sucks.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie about it. It sucks for people, but that doesn't stop the forward progress of technology. Robo taxis could really make Uber a big deal. Less car, and there's less wear and tear on the car, right? It's going to take AI and go, okay, I know how to pick up the route maps of people a lot better and make deliveries. I also think that deliveries of your food by drones will also be happening in the future. So, I like Uber here better than I do DoorDash.
Steve, AI moving over to the world of consulting. Accenture, ACN up nicely this morning on a news of a partnership with OpenAI. So up about 2.8% here this morning. Nice move to the upside.
So as you all know here, my wife works for Accenture, and I cannot make any comments on ACN.
Chime Financial also having a nice move to the upside today, up 2.27%. The other surprising one got nice moves up by Melco, Las Vegas Sands, and a few of the other gambling casinos. So interesting move to the upside here.
Well, I think next week, Howard, you and I should go figure that out as we are going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada next week. So, yep. Oh, U.S. will exempt UK origin pharmas from Section 232 of the tariffs. So there you go. Wow, no tariffs on. Okay, so if that's the case, then let's look at AZN right now, which should push that stock up. Yeah, it's not really affecting the stock. I think kind of has been worked in the deal here, but yeah. All right, so not a big.
It is down about 356 here still. Advanced decline continuing to slowly slide below 2100. The S&P is down almost 70 basis points now, and the Qs are back down more than 90 basis points. So it's seeing a little bit of a sell-off about 5 minutes from the cash open so far. Bitcoin struggling to hold to 86,000 here. Ethereum at 2815. We did mention on Friday that was a relief rally during a downtrend. So
yeah, you know what's interesting? I drew that. Yeah, I was on Roxham TV, which you're on now too. And I drew that line out for people. This is the line that's going to hold, and it did hold. There it is. It held there for us. And, look, it bounced down like it always does, and it probably cleaned a lot of people out. That's what they were looking for, right? Get that liquidity. And they did that. So, you talked about liquidity so much, Howard. and we're still to the upside. I think that we bounce right back up. I think we get back to 92, and we've tested it, cleared all the. I don't know how many times you and I talk about this to people. Don't be levered up, right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we are 5 minutes from the open here. MAG has not really moved too much. NVIDIA's down about 1.12% off the highs of the pre-market so far. Apple down about 60 basis points. That one's actually fading away a little bit here this morning. Microsoft down right now about 57 basis points, back below 490. Google down about 1% here today, Steve, taking a little bit of a breather after that massive run up over the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been a good weeks, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Amazon pretty flat on the day. Meta, as I mentioned, getting hit a little bit here this morning, but again, it's had a nice run last week, now down about 1.2%. Tesla down 1.25%, trying to come off the lows of the day, and Netflix down another 1.15%. That one's had more trouble trying to get off the bottoms of its recent trading days here. Steve, any of those interest you maybe here for a little day trade today? What are you thinking? You scalping any of these?
I will be adding to my NVIDIA. Disney makes me happy this morning, up another 0.6. I mean, Disney's look, the holidays. We know holiday sales are good. We know if it's cold up north, guess where they're going? They're going down south, so they're going to go to Orlando. We know that. So I like Disney here. I still like Disney. I think if you bought calls to the end of the month and you looked at the maybe the 109, 110 handle. That could be nice. If you're looking for a quick scalp, 105, 106, you can either be in the money or just a little bit out of the money. This is an easy play for me. I'm very long Disney. I'm buying more Disney because they're going to be pretty good coming into the close here. So
since you've been mentioned it, I've seen 3 different ads for gold on CNBC here. So it definitely is, you always use that as one of your guides. I'm definitely seeing it now.
It's so funny when I talk about all these things I talk about, and then when people like the eye opening, like, oh, that's what BigBeat's talking about. Well, that's what I mean, right? You see it and it connects, and then it sticks.
They wouldn't pay for an ad if they didn't want to sell their bags.
That's right. There's a reason why they're putting that ad out there, because they want to get rid of it. They know when to buy and sell. They're not going to tell you when to buy. They're going to tell you when to sell because they're trying to sell, right? And they want you to be the buyer. So they're
Steve, I saw you and Peter talking about, and when I say Peter Thomas, for those that don't know, our metal expert from AU Secure. You guys were talking about the difference between paper and actual physical silver and gold I saw over the weekend. You think you could fill our viewers in a little bit on that as we get about 2 minutes from the open?
I think you're asking about silver. Is that correct?
Yeah, silver and gold. You and Peter had that ratios up of the amount of actual.
I mean, obviously silver.
Paper.
Yeah, correct. I mean, we talked this forever, right? That there's not enough silver physically out there to cover the paper that's being printed out there, the derivatives of it, and we've talked about this over and over and over and over and over again. And now we're hearing that. Now we're seeing that, and now people are starting to catch on a little bit. There still isn't. It's like 400 to 1, right? And that's crazy numbers. But the gold to silver ratio is more important to me, right? So. I don't think so. I just think, look at this nice little run here in Bitcoin here, popping a little bit. I like this buy here down here. I think I said this several times. I've been buying all night and all morning. So I really like this. Yeah. I like this move here.
Nice little move, 86,250 there. We are about 1 minute from the open here. We're negative going into it, so we'll see what we get here as we go. Q's down about 90 basis points here and still sliding a little bit to the downside.
All right, so Jensen Huang about to come on CNBC here. So I do expect, here we go. We are open now. I do expect this, there's some buyers here in NVIDIA. Look at this. I like this. Come on, NVIDIA.
Yeah, Netflix first move to the upside. NVIDIA sort of muted now. Let's see what we get here.
McDonald's banked here, down almost 1% here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. Yeah.
Ticks down about 420 to start off with. Advanced decline move down 4,300. So a little bit of a sell-off here with some decent breadth there across the board.
I like this Netflix run. I mean, I watched Did you watch Stranger Things over the weekend? I didn't. I'm not a big fan.
No. We were getting ready for the trip here, so
yeah.
Dow Jones down about 50 basis points here. S&P down about 60, and the Q's down about 80 basis points. So the first move across the indices after the down open is to the upside. The rut, the big loser so far, down about 1.22%. So, Steve, if small caps getting hit worse, do they maybe think that the Fed is not going to cut?
They're just being silly if that's the case. I think that's just stupid because they're definitely going to cut.
VIX is up about 10% here now, threatening to get above 18 again. So I'm super excited here.
I like this. I honestly think we're good here. I'm not too excited. I'm not too worried here.
NVIDIA dropping down here as Mr. Wong jumps on the screen. I see to my right. So we'll see what we get here. Can he talk the market up? He usually does.
He does. But I think for him, he's got some explaining to do, right? And he's explaining what his thought process is here. But yeah, there we go. This is bouncing here a little bit. Some selling there in Bitcoin, but yeah.
There you go on 74.24.
Also bought some Solana also too as well.
Okay.
Over the last couple.
With that, I've been buying Chainlink myself. NVIDIA 174.41, so he's got it at least stabilizing here a little bit. Bitcoin back below 86. Tick is still negative. Advanced decline now negative 42.72. So it has come down pretty rapidly here. Dow Jones down about 54 basis points, as I said. The S&P down 61 basis points in the Q.
Come on, NVIDIA. Bounce back there, baby. Come on, baby. Jensen's talking. I like this. A software stack. What are you talking about? I like it. Strategy, MSTR down almost 7.4. Look at this. Look at this run on NVIDIA. I said, I like NVIDIA. I like Jensen Huang. You got to give it to him.
He's definitely got it moving.
He's talking about the future, and that's why we invest. We don't invest for the past. We invest because of the future.
Amazon's gone green here on the day, so the first of the Mag 7 to hit to the upside is
we said, right? Go long, baby. I like buying the
Bitcoin. Nice little jump to the upside here, back above 86, trying to get 86,250.
I like his thought process here. 86.3 now in Bitcoin. We could go positive here on NVIDIA.
Do see energy sector up about 60 basis points, so we see a lot of them getting a little bit of tailwinds from that OPEC news.
And we are only $1 now away from being positive here. Disney now at 105.17, 18 now. So
there you go.
All these things we've been talking about. This is why you thesis trade and don't listen to just all the crazy news out there. This is what I'm talking about. Talk about the news, right? Great, but how does it impact your thesis? That's the thing. Have a thesis. There we go. We're $1 away from going long, from being green here on NVIDIA. Disney 105.27 there. Amazon also green on the day now. Look at that. That's right. Yeah. Why? Because they had a 9% run here up from last year on online buying. You know, I took advantage of that. Bitcoin 86.4 there in the early session here, starting to move to the upside. NVIDIA now 176 now. So I like this move here. I like this move a lot.
Absolutely. Still need to see tick move positive, but it's getting closer to neutral right now. Looks like
Agreed.
it wants to go positive. Advanced decline moving in the right direction. The Dixie, we'll have to talk to Mr. Flanagan about. That's been a bad turnaround to the downside. 99.14 here this morning.
It looks like it's slowing down just a little bit as Synopsys CEO now started to talk a little bit. But I do like I like this move here. I do like this move.
NVIDIA moving to the upside, trying to break above.
So I also talked about Caterpillar and Deere over the last few days, and look at Caterpillar dropping again here. It's a great American company, but they're really struggling with this rare earth thing, and they've had a nice run to the upside. So I really think, and they did not, obviously earnings were tough. They're gonna, obviously there's a big investment coming for the government, but is that enough to really save them? And I don't think so. 86.5 now on Bitcoin. So if you were looking
to NVIDIA 176.50 here, NVIDIA running to the upside here.
We're almost there. We're 40 cents away now, baby.
Tesla's almost positive also. Tesla's, they can move to the upside.
You asked me earlier what I think. I think buy the dip here. I really like to buy the dip field here.
86.5 on Bitcoin here. Love it. Nice move.
105.50 now on Disney. Continuous run here. So, yeah, I think people who were thinking that we're going to crash again today, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
Oh, that's funny. I haven't heard that in a long time there, Steve. You just dated ourselves. Silver 57.05, still moving to the upside, up 1.29% here this morning. Alibaba, big winner here, up about 2.09% again this morning. Same thing, Baidu. So Chinese names moving to the upside so far, up 1.55%.
Here it is, baby. Come on, NVIDIA. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. 176.60. We're 30 cents away now from going green here on the day.
I think what's going on at the foundation, we're going through a platform shift from classical general purpose computing running on CPUs to a new way of doing computing, accelerated computing running on GPUs.
Financials still getting hit here. JP Morgan down. Yep. JP Morgan down about a 0.5 percentage point. Bank of America down 30 basis points. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs getting hit even a little bit harder here this morning. So the financial sector getting hit still here this morning.
I mentioned this morning.
Positive.
If you want a quick buck here, Disney gets those quick calls. Disney's almost at 106. There it is, 106 now on Disney. If you heard me this morning, you're probably up a couple 100% just on Disney calls. Like, it's crazy. So yeah,
Bitcoin
well done.
Now up above 86.5 here. Nice move to the upside.
106.15 now on Disney.
Advanced decline staying positive here, now up over 100. So moving nicely to the upside here. NVIDIA still moving to the upside. Amazon now up almost a full percentage point here. Microsoft still under pressure here, selling off down about 1.1% this morning. Same thing, Meta down about 1.06%, but trying to move back to the upside. Meta did have that strong week last week. WTI 59.25, trying to get back up above 60 here.
A little bit of selling there, probably taking a little bit in silver here. I expected that. We talked about this morning. It can't keep running forever.
Best Buy down about 2.28% here, getting hit a little bit. And then even though the energy sector is up, Constellation Energy down about 2.3% here this morning.
So Bank of America now says that the Fed forecast is now back to a December rate cut. Oh, Bank of America. Oh, Bank of America. Get it together there, Bank of America. I think a lot of people just don't. They're all trying to understand the Fed here, and they're really having a hard time understanding the Fed. And that's what I'm saying about clarity. You need clarity, right? And that's what's happening right now. We're not seeing clarity out of the Fed. So there you go. Okay, here we go. NVIDIA, another run here to the upside. Can we get past that last run there to 176.68? We'll see.
What is
Disney
moving back to the downside is Oracle back below 200 here, Steve, at 197.39,
Yeah,
struggling.
I just did not like, as you talked about last week, kept asking about Oracle. I just didn't like it. I don't like Oracle, and it just doesn't, not able to keep up. 106.36 now on 106.40 now on Disney. Wow. Those calls, if you'd bought them this morning, are absolutely crushing right now.
Absolutely.
Wow. Good stuff here this morning, Howard.
Market's moving nicely.
Yeah.
To be able to adopt this technology, but the time is now here. This platform shift that happened starting about.
Qs are losing a little bit of steam again, though, down about 90 basis points. So after that first little run to the upside, we are seeing a little bit more sell-off here.
Oh, there you go. Peter Schiff now saying today is the beginning of the end of MSTR. Yeah. I like Peter personally, but Peter just has he just can't help himself,
This year, it's 90% GPUs and 10% CPUs. The platform shift has happened. Now, that's in scientific computing. What Synopsys does, what this industry does with engineering, is founded on science.
106.60 now on Disney. Wow, up 2% here this morning.
Disney running.
This is one of the most computing-intensive industries in the world. And now during this,
I wonder if that has to do. I did see news that maybe Netflix wouldn't be allowed to bid for some of the Warner Brothers Discovery stuff.
Could be. Yeah, there's a good chance of that. There you go. There you go, Mr. NVIDIA. 14 cents away from now being 10 cents, 6 cents away, 4 cents away from going positive on the day, 3 cents away. Let's go. And we are now 2 cents away.
So
okay.
White collar, very exciting for people who want to play with it and get answers. It's not a sideshow, but it's much smaller than what we should be thinking about.
well, consumer IT is exciting. It moves quickly.
Yeah, my Disney looking good this morning. Look at that run this morning here, Howard. I'm loving. Look at this on the highs of the day now. 106.77 there, 2%. I had a feeling this was going to run here. I liked it. Yeah. This is what I mean by having a thesis and not chasing stock. We don't want to chase, right? We want to make sure that we understand the markets and what the thesis is behind it. And here we go. And that's why we're not hurting this morning. That's why we're looking good.
Absolutely.
When it happens, the size of the industry is incredibly large.
Yeah, I mean, Jensen Wong now once again talking about that AI will transform every single industry. I mean, that there's not an industry that AI will not touch. It's all it is what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bitcoin struggling around 86,000 again.
Yep, definitely a little bit of sell-off across everything so far after that little nice move to start it off.
No, I'm not scared though. I think we just, we're going in the 10 o'clock hour here.
Q's lows of the day though, they are moving to the downside. NVIDIA could not get all the way positive. Got pretty close before turning around. The big one that turned around, Amazon, back to almost flat now after being up almost a full percentage point here. So a little bit of sell-off across that here. And we do see tick is still slightly positive, and Dow Jones is down about a 0.5 percentage point so far. The S&P is down 60 basis points, and the Qs have just gone down almost a full percentage point. So still
look at that. There it is. And NVIDIA has now gone positive on the day, Howard.
There we go. 177.25. Nice move to the upside, continuing to pump.
That's why we don't get nervous. We keep our eyes steady and right on target. And this is what's happening today. Wow.
Absolutely. Tick has gone nicely positive again. Advanced declines continuing to move in the right direction, only down 3,400 was down over 4,500 earlier, so moving in the right direction. VIX pretty much unchanged since the open, right around that 1775 area. Copper, a nice little run up to 32.45 here, so continuing to move to the upside.
Woo, come on, NVIDIA. Let's go.
We do see now some of the other sectors of the S&P starting to move positive. We talked about energy, which is now up more than 1% here today. We also see XLP, which is consumer staples, up slightly, and material sector XLB also up slightly. So we still continue to see some of the sectors moving to the upside here today. Bitcoin holding 86,000, but not really able to make a good move one way or the other. Chips outside of NVIDIA mostly in the red. Broadband down the most at 3.59%, followed by Intel down about 2.27%. Micron down 1.56%. We do see ASML, AMD, and Texas Instruments all pretty flat on the day.
Notice the announcement today. Accelerating synopsis design tools, the EDA, the SDA, the CAE tools requires a computer architecture like CUDA. It's not available for ASICs. And so NVIDIA
financial sector getting closer to neutral here.
NVIDIA now 178 here.
Yeah, almost 178. I was about to say, yeah, continuing to move to the upside now, up 74 basis points.
Yeah,
Amazon
Howard,
also bouncing back up.
Yeah, Howard. Obviously, this is really good stuff. But I love NVIDIA. For those of you who are listening, I don't know how to tell you, killing it. But Howard, I was, as everybody here knows, I was very heavy on NVIDIA. So I am taking some profit on NVIDIA here, a little bit, not a lot, but enough. I need to take some profit off, but yeah, that's woo. Hello, baby.
Nice. Google down 1.6% here, being a little bit of a drag on the market so far today. Netflix has nicely bounced back from its lows of the day, moving to the upside now. It looks like it wants to go positive here. Tesla's down 56 basis points. Meta hasn't really caught a bid yet, down about 1.21%. Google starting to maybe catch a little bit of a bid here now from lows of the day.
Now, I will say there is one sector that I'm a little concerned about going into the end of the year, and it's because I'm seeing, and it's one sector that I love, but there has some problems, and that's the cruise lines. As you know, I love the cruise lines, but I've been getting a lot of hey, come ride with me, come take a cruise, come. Merck Sharp and Dome, it's MRK, so they're looking to raise up to $8 billion from a bond sale there. I've talked about this for a while, folks, that the bond market in the corporate sector is really struggling here. There's MRK right now down, losing steam here. So there it is, MRK. That's going to get hit here pretty hard here. It looks like $8 billion for a company that is only worth $260 billion. So they're looking to probably do something to get some make a drug here or create a pipeline here or something. I'm not sure yet, but yeah.
NVIDIA finally looks to be basing here at this 315 level, so it does look to be consolidating here. NVIDIA now up 53 basis points on the day. Amazon struggling to get back up above that 215 or 235 handle, excuse me.
Yeah, and I'm still long NVIDIA, so don't really think that we're not long. I'm still long NVIDIA. I just had to not be so long, right? Yeah, so we're hearing reports that TSA screened 3.13 million airline passengers. That's 1% of the country. Woo! Look at that. They still traveled. I mean, people were traveling for the holidays. So,
absolutely. Bitcoin just dropped below 86 again here, so lost that key area there. We'll see how far it falls down today, but not looking so strong yet. We got the tick is nicely positive, and advanced decline is moving in the correct direction so far this morning. Dow Jones is down about 40 basis points. The S&P down 44 basis points. Q's down 70, and the RUT down about 83 basis points. All of those are off of lows of the day, though, so all moving in the correct direction. VIX actually moving back down 1753 or so. So after that initial, burst of volatility, it seems like everything's sort of calming down, as you mentioned, Steve. And we do see banks starting to move green. JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo have all gone green on the day now. And the same thing, chip sector, you got NVIDIA now trying to break 178, ASML, AMD, Texas Instruments, and Analog Digital moving to the upside. Also, Synopsys, we know the big winner, but it's
S&P Global Manufacturing now coming out at 52.2, expect a 51.1.
That's nice.
So we beat on the bottom line there on manufacturing PMI, not by much. We know 50 is the sucker punch, right? Anything below 50 is a contraction, anything expansion over 50. So a little bit of expansion on the manufacturing. That's good.
Absolutely.
Could see a little bit of pullback here in NVIDIA. We're starting to see a little bit. Look at that MACD there. It might be crossing back some profit taking, but I don't see much of a bad move here, to be honest with you. Honestly, I like this. This is good. No, not good.
Market's been going.
Yeah, a little bit pullback here. All right, let's get him in, Howard, Mr. Quantum Convergence himself.
Let me get that. Sorry, give me 1 second there again. How are you doing, my friend? Something with your mic there, Steve.
Microphone, Steve. Sorry about that. I muted his mic till he gets that fixed there, guys. But look, we got Mr. Quantum Convergence himself talking about, No, sorry, Steve. I had to mute you there. Your microphone is maybe you got a wind screen or something. Wind blowing on too. I am muting Steve. Steve, if you can't hear me, we're going to mute you.
Steve, maybe log out and in again.
Yeah. But look at this with NVIDIA now,
177.59. Nice little move to the upside. We got to love that. Tick has gone very nicely to the upside, about 500. Advanced decline continuing to move in the right direction now, 2,800 to the downside, but that's still much further in the right direction versus where we were. The Dow Jones is now only down about 37 basis points. S&P, same area. Q's are there. Let's bring him in and let's see how he sounds. Steve, how you feeling?
There we go.
There we go. Now we got you back, our friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. So far, so good. And, it's all about the yen right now in the currency markets with Bank of Japan, UEDA, starting to rattle some markets.
And you said this, Steve. You're the one that said it last week to keep your eye on it. So here we are, right?
Yeah, because we started to press the dollar yen up to the 158 level. We've seen the comments. We know the U.S. is putting pressure on Japan. So here we are. The one thing I will say is that Bank of Japan now expected to raise 0.25%, and that would be on the 19th, which coincides with the 18th ECB, Bank of England on the 18th. So it's going to be quite an explosive week in 2 weeks. But read between the lines. Okay, rate hike is probably necessary because they're beginning to get concerned or saying inflation could run away. But reading between the lines is the important part, what we call Fed speak. And that is They're going to look at the pros and cons of raising interest rates, and any hike would be an adjustment to the degree of easing, with real rates very low. So you can already see that they are still concerned, and they're trying to play into the new prime minister, and they're trying to ease up the situation. We're going to raise a quarter, but we don't want to, upset the apple cart.
But Steve, I mean, she is the new prime minister of Japan is going right off the playbook of the Trump.
Yep.
So she's screaming, cut rates or keep rates the same. You still think they're gonna raise rates in Japan?
I think we're going to see 0.25%, Steve. I think I have, obviously, based on these comments and in the proximity of the next meeting, I think they're telegraphing, we're going to have to go 0.25%.
Why?
Well, rates in the JGB market are already, sky high. So okay. I think they're really just reflecting economic numbers out of Japan in the most recent string last week were showing some promise. Inflation still just below that 3%. I'm just going to say, Steve, I think that the United States, Scott Bessent, is probably, pretty involved in offering some advice. We don't want to see the yen weaken substantially beyond.
Who's this? I do. I want to see more sushi and sake, but okay.
Likewise, Steve, I don't see the yen appreciating substantially. Right. So dollar yen loves to lock into a range, and I think we're probably going to see a 152, 157, 153, 158 sort of range for the foreseeable future. So that was my primary, news from the currency markets. The one key is they do not want to destabilize the carry trade. Yeah. And I think a lot of the stock market drop this morning is got the carry trade idea in mind. So I don't.
But you've been right about the market and why we're going to see a little bit of pullback. They took advantage of it all the way up until midnight of last night because of the end of the month for November for taxes and getting ready for the new year and all that. I understand that. But is this the buying opportunity then, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
And I'm very positive. Hey, prove me wrong. Fine. It won't be the first time I've had a call that's gone wrong, but. I feel comfortable that this is the week where I want to watch and let the market, as I call, percolate. And, I'm not going to try to press things. You still got Chanos out there, all right, look, the guy had a great call on Enron, but it was, an isolated, as I published last night, I finally put out, Steve, for you, my details involved in quantum convergence.
Yeah.
There are so many aspects of this coming. I just was listening in on Jensen Huang on CNBC, and, he's also reflecting the same sort of thing. It's just such a broad field, and it's just beginning to take effect in each and every aspect of our daily lives. So I'm not going to rush it, but this is the opportunity to position yourselves in companies that are money makers, that have a profitable stream.
Right.
If you want to roll dice, you go with the ones that are still operating in a loss.
Okay, so do you say it's a cash company, or do you think it's companies that are paying dividends? Are you looking for dividends? Or are you looking for cash?
Dividends would be, the cherry on the top, but
okay.
A company out there with cash is more important to me.
Okay, yeah. And what do you want to see with it? What they do with their cash? Is it R&D? Is it acquisitions? What is it that you want to see with that?
That's a great point, Steve. Let's just look at two very simple things. You've got some companies that are putting it into R&D and building for the future. You've got a company like Apple that has, for the last 2 years, all we've talked about is how much cash do they have? What are they doing with it?
What are they doing with it?
You know, Warren Buffett's firm, Berkshire Hathaway. Okay, they finally moved into Google, but you know what? In my business that I've come on the institutional side, we used to say, you don't get paid for sitting on cash.
Right.
That's
Right.
how people are investing in you. So, you know, we can see how everybody says Apple has fallen so far behind the AI. With all that cash 2 to 3 years ago, think where they could have been had they deployed that into this AI field.
Is that why you think that U.S. November ISM manufacturing now 48.2 was expecting 49? Wow, big miss there again. Manufacturing is now literally, I'll lay it up here, is now contracting. For those of you who don't know, 50 is the breaking point. Anything above 50 is expansion. Anything below 50 is contraction. And this is not good. I think the president wants to be a manufacturing country. So this could portend to us to lower rates. Correct, Steve? This is another
Yes, another piece to the puzzle, Steve. If you look around the globe, China's manufacturing PMI was 49.9. They were expecting 50.5, underneath of the 50 line as well. We know that the European numbers have kind of disappointed. Everything doesn't argue. Everything screams for lower rates. What kills me, Steve, is when I look at the ECB suddenly going, well, inflation is now at our target of 2%, and some of the countries under, and we're at 2%. We're right where we want. We're going to stay neutral. They meet again on the 18th as well at 2%. Sorry, guys, you should be lowering further. But it'll be interesting to see what Switzerland does with rates at 0% and a GDP at a minus 0.5. Are they going to dip into negative territory?
I asked that last week, and you said possibility.
It is possible. They meet on the 11th. So December, right ahead of us. This is the week where I believe you position yourself, and then it starts with the Fed on the 10th. Actually, RBA, Australia, on the 9th. I don't think they're going to do anything. The Fed on the 10th. The SMB on the 11th, Bank of Canada on the 10th. This is going to be. I think people have to wake up and realize that the world needs lower interest rates, easier monetary policy.
How much?
I could easily see the Fed down at 3.5. I don't think we're going to get too close to 3%. I think that would be about the base that you would see, because in the next 6 months, you're going to be in this, and then it's going to start up, and then they're going to have good reason to hold rates. They won't need to raise rates because inflation is going down. So a lower inflation and a higher growth rate, it's the perfect world. And I do believe that's what we're about to step and enter into.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
So Steve, if Japan's going up in rates, though, and we're going down, and Europe doesn't know what they're doing, are we back? Because I remember about a year and a half ago when we got into a similar situation, right, where they were moving in different things. It was, it caused a lot of stress across different markets and bond markets and things like that. Do you think that stress is coming again?
I think that's why you saw Bank of Japan, Ueda, make this comment 2 weeks before their meeting. I think he kind of prepped the ground, but he's also saying, hey, we've got very low rates, so this is kind of a small adjustment. They've got to thread the needle very nicely. I think equity markets today are reflecting the fear, Howard, of that destabilizing potential in the yen carry trade. But I do think they'll thread the needle very nicely on this. Japan, again, a 0.25% raise to 0.75. While the carry trade is significant, they're coming from 15, 20 years of, near zero interest rates. So I don't think it's a big deal. If it was a shock move right now, I would say yes, it could destabilize. But I think if you look at the comments he made, they're threading the needle very well. And think about all the meetings the United States and Japan have had over the last 2 months. So I think everybody's prepped this one very nicely.
Okay. That's what I was just wondering, because last time it caused so much controversy across the markets, if it would this year or this time. Awesome. Well, guys, what do you think we do to end the day here as we are approaching a little after 9:05? What do we think we're going to get?
NVIDIA on the highs of the day here, Howard. Loving this run here.
And Mr. Flanagan, do you have any key levels we should be watching in the DXY this week versus last week's close? Anything like that?
We talked last week about, we hit the objective on the 21st of November of 140, set a new high. The retracement here, anywhere between 98.80 and 99.20 is a base of support for the dollar index. We're in that zone right now. I do look for the dollar to be bought down here. I am looking to reestablish. I'm going to let it percolate. I think this is the week where I want to enter in and add to positions. So that's the way I'm watching. Sterling was the big one I highlighted with the UK budget that came out. They backed off raising income taxes, so the market has greeted that. You're getting the shorts unwind, presently 32.48. I think anywhere above here is a sale of sterling because they have pushed off, a lot of the problems, and I don't think it's going to be, in the bigger picture, taken very well for the UK economy. So I am looking to establish my longs there as well in the dollar short the sterling.
Oh, okay. I was making sure you had me confused there for a second. It's funny from a technical level too. I will say that the Dixie's bouncing off the 50-day nicely, and the sterling is actually rejected at the 50 very nicely also. So technical is lining right up with what you're saying there, Mr. Flanagan. You and I are usually on the same page when it comes to those charts anyways. So I'm sure those were some of the numbers you were looking at. Any other things we should be looking at this week when it comes to currencies you got an eye on?
Well, I think we're going to wait and see. Most of the news is going to be focused on Japan right now. So everybody's going to be watching for any comments. My guess would be that Bank of Japan kind of goes silent now. They made their comment. They got the dollar yen down. Let's see where it goes from here. And let's watch the economic releases around the world. To me, they argue for lower interest rates globally, keep Japan off to the side. But what is 0.75? Are we really going to say that that's a higher rate? No, not really.
Steve, outside the Fed has been saying that it's 2% inflation they're trying to get down to, and they're saying that unemployment is their two key that's what they're talking about, right? They've been saying this for I don't even know how long, right? They're key mandates. Job losses are picking up. We know that. Okay. And we know that inflation is starting to come in check a bit more. Still higher rates, right? But what is it outside of that now the Fed can actually, if they're going to have to change the narrative, what is it that you're looking for that they might use now to change that narrative?
Manufacturing PMI just dropped.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they've got to acknowledge that the employment situation, which they have, they said, I'm using Powell, tariffs were 0.6 part of inflation. Okay. We're pretty much bang on to their just above the 2% goal. So now they've got to start looking at the broader economy and saying, you know what? Rates at 4% are restrictive, not moderately. They are restrictive. And they've got to start acknowledging that they need to catch up here.
Okay, but they need to acknowledge that. But what is it you want to see Powell say? Like that changes the narrative right now. I mean, he's every time he sees another negative number in jobs, well, Powell says, well, it's inflation's the problem. Well, jobs are not that big of a deal. Then you see all the other members going, well, and now you're going into a quiet period, right? You've got this string of blackout dates now that I don't know how half of them can handle it. They love the TV more than I do. What do they do? I mean, these guys they're bursting at the seam to talk on TV. They can't help themselves, and yet they're about to, what are they going to say? If these numbers you just said, manufacturing PMI numbers came out, they've got to come out and refigure their narrative, right?
Let's look at a recent central banker, Christine Lagarde.
Right.
Do you remember when right before the ECB started to lower rates a little bit more aggressively, quarter? All of a sudden, she came out and said, our forecast shows some economic weakness. And I think that's what Powell will hide behind, that suddenly the economy is not showing the growth rates that we had expected.
All right, so I'm going to play devil's advocate. The numbers came out this week for online sales. We're up 9%. 9% on online sales. Yeah, and I said this morning, I think we can equate that to the weather, obviously, and people just don't want to get out anymore, and all kinds of things. We can say all kinds. But here's online sales. I'm okay. I'm with you. To be honest, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually with Steve on this one. But I want to play devil's advocate for a second. The Fed can come out and say, well, look, the buyer, the consumer is still strong. Is that right?
Right, Steve. But the flip side of that, as you've been highlighting for quite some time, has been the debt levels that the consumer is beginning to take on, not on commercial real estate, student loans. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could weigh against that. Awesome that we're seeing that buying, but there's a number of things that the Fed can do with lower rates to help support a continued consumer growth.
Yeah. Okay. So consumer growth. Let's talk about that. We see. Let's see if I can do this. BBY here. I think Best Buy was the one.
They were down a little bit earlier.
Right. So Best Buy did not. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers yet. We don't know that, but Best Buy down 1.7% after their Black Friday. Let's talk about Nike. NKE is up 0.45%. Let's talk about Dollar General, right? Dollar General DG, fairly flat here on the day. I think people are confused.
Absolutely, Steve. There is a massive confusion because where is the clarity that we get, that we have grown to expect from our Fed?
Is that because of the data not being out there for people to digest?
No, because I believe, as we've talked, there's just too much academia involved in their decision. They don't want to raise because they're still lower, because they're still clinging to tariffs equals inflation.
So that's a political talk, not based on actual numbers. So does this piss off POTUS to say, okay, all right, pal, you're out. Mary Cook's out. I mean, he can start pushing them out, right?
That's right. Absolutely, Stephen. This is what, yes, this is the confusion. What are you guys looking at over there? I mean, step into the real world, and we don't see it that way. The numbers don't support what you're saying about.
And Powell mentioned AI, and I saw an article over the week and weekend. For right now, the AIs can replace 14% of the workforce right now, labor workforce. They can do the job of 14% of the labor workforce.
That's right. And will it happen? No, it's not going to happen as a surge like that. But he's got to see that the horizon has weakness in the employment. So we've got to nurture and build a framework that will support them to be able to transition into other areas. Higher rates is not a supporting tool.
Okay, so price dictates. I think a lot of people in the crypto space are betting based on whether Powell will lower rates or not. And I say Powell, I mean the whole Fed. It seems that the Fed itself is disjointed, meaning that they can't come together, which is kind of highly unusual because this Fed has been pretty much together on almost the whole way through. That's the political side, I think, happening now, right?
Yes, and here's what I'm going to say. in quantum convergence, the advent and AI, as AI begins to grab more and more of the structural base of how everything operates, it is a massive deflationary input into the Fed's inflation chatter. They have not acknowledged that yet. And yet every person that's involved sees the cost benefits that AI has to the overall production. So I almost look at the Fed, Steve, as saying your little 0.25% shifts have no bearing on where we're going anymore. You're becoming, we don't we don't really need your chatter, your input, because we're on a course that, inflation is going down. The Fed's going to have to lower rates, and we will make a transition in the economy. It's kind of like, this is a new economy. It is a quantum convergence where your Fed and your central bankers' zest to hold on to power and to hear themselves talk becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
In many respects.
All right, you've talked about quantum convergence quite a bit, Steve. And for those of you who have not been here the last few weeks, and I can see the new numbers on our live. Well done, everybody. Numbers are pushing up here. Thanks for watching us. Steve, I'm going to ask you to do a video here this week sometime on quantum convergence, your whole theory. So have it all laid out. We'll do an interview just of you, letting us know what your thesis on quantum convergence, and we'll push that out there for everybody. But Howard, it's 10:17. Take us home, my man.
Absolutely, everybody. NVIDIA's up about 1 percentage point. We now see Tesla, Netflix, and Amazon in the positive so far. Tick is pretty flat. Advanced declines move down the wrong direction a little bit. Markets have cooled off a little bit. We are down across all the major markets, but we are pushing to the upside here across some of the areas, especially the Qs. Everybody from Quasar Markets, have a fantastic day. Don't be afraid to take profits when you have them, and we'll be back tomorrow morning to bring it all to you again.